Okay, now I'm in the assumption that whatever videos I have sent, that is the last 5 problems, whatever we have solved, I hope it is clear to all. So please know the problem, understand, and then do it in the notes. Please don't do it for the sake of attendance. Okay, anytime your attendance will be there, but make sure you understand every problem, because each problem has its own pattern. If you observe, we are not solving the problems with the same pattern. Each problem is with different pattern. So please try to understand and then solve it in the notes. Okay, do not copy directly from the video for the sake of attendance. Watch the video, understand the concept. If you have doubts, ask to me, clear it out, and then you can copy it down in your notes. Okay, so having said that, we'll start with problem number 6. We'll see how this problem is different from the previous problems. Okay, so here you have following information in respect of Vasu Limited given. You have 500 equity shares of 100 each but 70 paid, 250 equity shares of 100 each, 80 paid. So in this problem, similar to the previous problem, we have two classes of equity shares. Okay, one class 500 shares, second class 250 shares. In the first class 70 only they have paid, in the second class they have paid only 80, wherein the face value is 100. Okay, you also have 258% preference shares of 100 each fully paid, and they have told dividend is in arrear for 1 year, so you know you have to pay the dividend. Okay, Vasu Limited went into liquidation on 31/12/2015. Assets realized 62,500 given. Okay, expense of liquidation is 1,000. Then liquidator is entitled to a remuneration of 3,000. So this is a fixed form of remuneration. You don't have to do any calculation because remuneration is directly given in the problem. The unsecured creditors is 12,500 and preference creditor is 1,500. Okay, here they have not combined your preference creditors with unsecured. Unsecured is given separately, preference is given separately. Only when they tell you unsecured creditors 12,000 including preference creditors, that is when you have to minus 1,500 from 12,500. But here they have given separately. Unsecured is only 12,500, preference is only 1,500. Prepare the final statement assuming that preference shareholders have priority over equity shareholders with respect to repayment of capital and dividend as provided in the articles. Same problem what we have done in the last class. Okay, so I'll just solve the problem one by one. We'll see how you have to go ahead. Okay. So we are starting with problem number 6. Okay, so this is your liquidator's final statement of accounts, and I'm starting by writing receipts, amount, payment, and then amount. Okay, fine. So I always start by writing to cash in hand or cash at bank. So first see in the problem whether you have information on cash in hand and cash at bank. In this problem there is no information, so I am directly writing assets realized. So assets realized given in the problem is 62,500. Okay, you don't have information on surplus from secured creditors, so do not write surplus from secured creditors. So on the receipts, as of now you only have assets realized. Moving ahead with the payment, we always start with your liquidation expenses. Okay, liquidation expense given is 1,000. Then we write your liquidators remuneration. Now here remuneration is a fixed remuneration of 3,000, which is directly given in the problem. You don't have to do any kind of calculation. As per the format comes debenture holder, but in this problem we do not have debenture holder, so I am directly writing preferential creditors, which is 1,500. Then I am writing unsecured creditors, which is 12,500. Okay, so after unsecured creditors I have to write my preference shareholder. First I have to write the capital and then I should write the dividend. So when you're writing your capital, first check whether you have available balance in the company or not. Now how much is the preference dividend that you're supposed to pay? See, they've told you it is 258% preference shares of 100. So 250 into 100, you have to pay 25,000. So first see whether you have 25,000. How do you see? Receipt 62,500 minus 1,000, 3,000, 1,500, 12,500. You have 44,500. So you have enough of balance in the company. So I am writing preference share capital 25,000, which is my capital. Then I should also give them preference dividend. Okay, definitely I have enough of balance. So capital is 8%. So 25,000 into 8% will give 2,000. Okay, this is 2,000. Fine. So preference shareholders have done capital, have done dividend also. After preference shareholder, who comes? Your equity shareholders. Now how do you do the problem after this? You basically take the total of your receipts minus the total of all the payment. Whatever is left out, that left out you will write it as balancing figure and close the problem. But here you cannot write like that. Why? Because you have two classes of equity shareholders. You have class 1 as well as you have class 2. So when you're writing your balancing figure, whether will you write it for class 1 or should you write it for class 2? Or how much should you write it for class 1? How much should you write it for class 2? So you cannot close the problem here. Okay, even though the balancing figure is written as equity shareholders, you cannot write directly the balancing figures. Check how much is the balancing figure. 62,500 minus 1,000, 3,000, 1,500, 12,500, 25,000 and 2,000, you get 17,500. Okay, so usually how do you close the problem? By equity shareholders, within bracket I write balancing figure and I write it here 17,500 and the problem is done. Here I am not supposed to do that. Why? Because I have two classes of equity shareholders. Class 1, 500 equity shares are there. Class 2, 250 equity shares are there. So this balancing figure of 17,500, you have to divide properly for class 1 and properly for class 2. You have to be very careful in dividing the balance for class 1 and class 2. Directly you cannot write 17,500. So how do you do this division part? For doing this division part, you have to do a working note. Okay, this working note, whatever that we are going to do, it is very similar to your last problem's working note. Okay, it is the same working note that we are going to do even for this problem. So I'll tell you how you have to do. So here I am writing it as working note. Okay, and this working note is for my equity shareholders. Okay, so how do you start? Yes, first you have to start by calculating what is the total deficiency in the problem. Okay, total deficiency for whom? For your equity shareholders. Why I am not writing preference share? So we are calculating the total deficiency. Total deficiency for whom? Total deficiency only for the equity shareholders. Why I did not write preference shareholders? Because preference shareholders I have paid them fully. 25,000 capital is paid, 2,000 dividend is also paid. But I am yet to pay for the equity shareholders. That is why I have not included preference. Okay, please keep in mind why preference is not included, because preference is already paid. We are yet to pay the equity, so that is why I am calculating the deficiency for equity. Now, how do you calculate? Same thing. How many classes we have? We have class 1 and we have class 2. Class 1 we have 500 equity shares. Right? Yeah. We have 500 equity shares at the rate of 70 paid. Class 2, 250 equity shares at the rate of 80 paid. Okay, so 500 into 70 is 35,000. 250 into 80 is 20,000. Okay, So totally this is 55,000 that I am supposed to pay. So this 55,000 is the actual amount to be paid. To be paid to whom? Actual amount to be paid to the equity shareholders. From this I am going to minus the available balance in the problem. Okay, the available balance in the problem which we have calculated was 17,500. How is the 17,500? Your total of your receipts minus payment, that is 62,500 the receipts, minus 1,000 your liquidation expense, 3,000 your remuneration, 1,500 preferential creditors, 12,500 unsecured creditors, and 27,000 preference share capital, 25,000 preference share capital and 2,000 preference dividend. So when you minus your receipts and payment, the actual available balance is 17,500. So what is the deficiency here? I am totally supposed to pay 55,000 to the equity shareholders. Right now I have 17,500. So the actual balance that I am supposed to pay is 37,500. What do you call this 37,500? This will be my total deficiency. For how many shares? 500 plus 250. 500 plus 250 is 750 shares. So my total deficiency for 750 shares is 37,500. Therefore, we calculate what? Deficiency per share. How do you calculate deficiency per share? 37,500 divided by 750. You get rupees 50 per share. Okay, we'll see how this problem goes further. I hope this is clear. This is the same thing that we have done even in the previous problem, that we are calculating the total deficiency. I have not included preference because they are already paid, so I am calculating the deficiency only for the equity. So I know I have to pay them 55,000. In my company I have 17,500. So the actual amount, the shortage amount is 37,500 for 750 shares. Therefore for one share it is 50 per share. Further calculation remains the same. We have class 1 here. Class 1, deficiency per share. Deficiency per share is 50. In that, how much is already paid by them? First class group, they have already paid 70. Okay, now try to understand. Deficiency is 50 rupees, but they have paid 70, which means they have paid extra.